Rochut number 20 is one of the hardest in the book by far, and I would know that because I used it as one of my audition etudes to get into college. It is extremely difficult because of the slide technique, the use of alternate slide positions, and also the timing is a little bit difficult sometimes. It's very hard to find a breath and very hard to phrase these without coming out of time. First of all, the slide technique, you have to be precise. Make sure that your slide is not drifting at any point. You should be able to touch these notes and high-five them as you go by, as I've been told before. Phrasing-wise, I would mark your phrases and I would circle what Toby Oft calls the money note. The money note is the most important note of the phrase, and I found it very helpful to lay this out in my part and everything that I play, not just etudes, but solos, excerpts, whatever it is, the most important part of the phrase, the most important note you should mark because it gives you a destination to arrive to. Make sure you have a very wide variety of dynamics. There are not a lot of dynamics in this etude. Oddly enough, in Allstate fashion, as per usual, there is a very weird ending and a very weird cut. So both cuts, well, it starts in the middle of the piece, and it ends in the middle of the piece. So there's no real stopping point. So you need to make it musical enough to where the audience can tell, and the listeners and the judges can tell that you are coming to an end. A way to do this is by ending your phrases very nicely, and also phrasing the music. Make sure that there is a wide variety of dynamics, like I said before, but also make sure you're pacing your dynamics. So you're starting soft and you'll get loud, and then make sure you end soft too. Ending soft is very important. Leave every note with regrets when lyrical playing. Make sure that every note gets its full length, full value, and really touch each note. Make yourself regret leaving the next note. Also, big issue that I've had studying this etude is time. And time, it can rush, it can pull back, it can push forward. You know, it can drag. It does a lot, especially since the meter, and it's just consecutive 16th notes that run through the piece. And so it can be very difficult to stay in time. But I would think 8th notes, so da dee da dee da dee da 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 dee da 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 da. That will help you. Make sure the ends of your phrases are very nice and lifted and regretful, as I've said before. And don't worry too much about staying completely in time with the breaths. I think the judges will appreciate a phrase ended beautifully and you being a half beat off and coming back in time, rather than trying to be perfectly in time, metronomical at the ends of your phrases and having them be clipped. Everybody wants to see you succeed, so remember that. Above all, once again, make sure to make beautiful music and enjoy this piece. If I were to give one more piece of advice, it would be to make sure that you study the entire etude. It's very important, especially the first measures of the piece before the cut comes in. I think it's very important to see where this fits in and how to phrase it based off of where it is in the piece, where the cut is. And one more note is measure 21 in retrospect to the entire piece. I would use, especially in the pickups and up till then, the E sharps I would place in 4th position. Make sure you find where that sits on your horn. But overall, I would put it there because that will help the fluidity of the line and you won't have to move as far back from 3 and 1 versus 3 and 4. So I hope you enjoyed this, enjoy this recording, and enjoy making music. Good luck.